Okay, grade 9. So I'm going to go through the 5 examples which I've given you in the teaching notes. So basically, we need to look at the instruction. The instruction says factorize the following expressions. So what does that mean? If I look at this expression, 10x plus 4. Now I need to think what multiplication would have ended up in 10x plus 4. Sometimes it's difficult to think about it. So another way of doing it is to look at the two terms and determine what their common factors are. Now 10x plus 4, this is a constant, so it doesn't have a variable. So we can't really say that x is a common factor because 4 does not have a factor of x. But if you look at 10 and 4, what's the common factor between 10 and 4? They are both even numbers, so 2 is a common factor. 2. We open brackets. Now to get this first term here, you're going to divide each term by the common factor. So 10x divided by 2 is 5x. What is 4 divided by 2? That's 2. We can always check whether our factorization is correct by multiplying out. So if I do a check, 2, 5x plus 2, that would give me, by distribution, 2 multiplied by 5x is 10x, and 2 multiplied by positive 2 is, it's 4. Okay, so that looks like it's the same. Right, now let's look at this one. 11x squared plus 66x. What would this common factor be? 11 and 66. They both have a factor of 11. So I know that it's going to be 11. And this is x squared, and that one has a factor of x. So do they have a common factor of x? Yes. Now, if I have 11x squared divided by 11x, what am I left with? 11x squared divided by 11x. I know that 11 divided by 11 is 1. There are 2 factors of x in the numerator and 1 in the denominator. I could also write it as x multiplied by x over x. That means x multiplied by x divided by x. X divides by x, I get 1. So I'm left with x. That means that when I have 11x squared divided by 11x, I'm left with x. Okay, 66x divided by 11x is going to be 66 divided by 11 is 6, and x divided by x is 1. So I'm left with that. If I multiply out again, I should get the same expression. Okay? Right, let's try this one. Here I've got negative 7x squared y plus 14y. The 7 and the 14, 7 is a common factor of 7 and 14, right? Then we've got x squared. Do we have any factors of x here? No, so it's not a common factor. But we do have a y in both. Therefore, my common factor is 7y. If I divide negative 7 by 7, I get negative 1. And if it's negative 7x squared y divided by 7y, the y divided by the y would give me 1. So I'd be left with negative x squared. Positive 14 divided by 7 is 2, but the y divided by the y is also 1. So that gives me positive 14y divided by 7y is going to be positive 2. Okay, if you're struggling with that, you can always do this on the side and write out in full. That's x multiplied by x multiplied by y over the common factor. And then you can divide and you'll see that you get 1 there, 1 there, and I'm left with negative x squared. That's what goes in the bracket. Now the rest of them follow a similar pattern. So I'm just going to do this last one here. And here we have 15, we've got 21, we've got 9. So that means that 3 is a common factor of this. We've got a squared b, ab, b. What's the common factor in each of these? It's going to be 3b. Let's do this in our heads. So it's 15 a squared b divided by 3b. You will be left with 5a squared. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So that gives me 7. Now let's look at this. It's a, b, and b, 7a. And negative 9b divided by 3b is going to be negative 3. Close brackets. These are all unlike terms. I cannot add them, so I leave this as is. That is factorized. Right, let's look at the last one. If you have two negatives, we usually factor out a negative common factor. It's just something we usually do. You don't have to do it. You can take the positive common factor and then in your bracket you will have negatives. But if I take the negative common factor, I would get 25 and 10 have a common factor of 5, x squared and x to the power of 3. Now look at this. X squared has two factors of x. X to the power of 3 has 3 factors of x. That means that I will have not one common x, but I actually have 2 factors of x that will be common between those two terms. That's the highest common factor. Okay, so instead we're going to have negative 5x squared. Now let's divide this properly. Negative 25 x squared, which would be x times x, divided by negative 5x squared. I've got negative 2 negative values divided by each other. We know that that result would be positive. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And as you can see, if I divide these, I get 1. So when I divide that, I get 5, and it's going to be positive 5 in my bracket. Negative 10x cubed divided by negative 5x squared would give me positive 2. Since there are 3 factors of x there, and I'm only dividing by 2 factors of x here, I'm going to have 2x. If you multiply this out again, you should get the same expression.